That looks ridiculous. Um, what's up, Pokey friends? What's up, Kekai crew? How you doing? It's been a hot minute since I've hopped on here, and made a video. But, you may have seen on my other socials, and a little bit here, with, the teaser for my Discord server that I've been working with a couple people. Yeah, the content thing is finally kind of happening. It's a little insane because it happened like boom, 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 boom. And it's been like nonstop, go, 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 for the past like 2 to 3 weeks, almost the whole month of August. It's September 3rd. Jeez. Okay, well, so yeah, for like the whole month of August up until now, it's been like go, go, go. As far as like Pokemon and trying to create content for myself, not really too many others now, but I figured I'd just hop on here and sort of do like a longer form video of just like what my experience was in at Pokemon Worlds in Honolulu, Hawaii this past August, this past summer. And hopefully the audio isn't too bad. Hopefully you can hear me. But yeah. And please ignore the cracking kitties. They're just sort of like what I have. But I love them. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, without any further ado, what's up, Poke friends? What's up, Kekai crew? What's up, Poke Ohana? Darian Kekai, back here again, doing my thing. Stoked to be here with y'all. So let's get going. Thank you. So it all kind of started like 2-ish to 3-ish weeks before Worlds. So like mid-July is when I got an email from the Pokemon Company International saying, hey, we'd love to have you come out. We'd love to have you be a spectator at Pokemon Worlds in Honolulu, Hawaii. The only thing that was bothersome to me was that it was only one day for my spectator pass, so I'm reaching out to competitors left and right that I know that might be able to help me get a full weekend pass, because if you don't know, the competitors, I think they got 2 or 3, I think it was just 2 full weekend guest passes for spectators, for like friends or family, or like maybe a teammate or like a play coach that they work with. And big shouts out to my homie now, after everything of waiting in line and stuff for our tickets or for our passes. His name's Jake. He's super duper dope. But we just got to talking and we just got to know each other as we're in that line. And yeah, I don't think any of my experiences that happened in Hawaii, whether it was with my Ohana over there or my Poke friend family over at the event, none of this would have been possible without Jake. So thank you so much, Jake. You're awesome. Like, I'm gonna try my best to make it to this video without crying, because the past several months, or like the past month and a half specifically, have been very stressful and very like so yeah. But big shouts out to Jake. Much love, much aloha for him and his family. His pops was actually there with us too, waiting in line at one point. He's like, I'm gonna go sit down, this is ridiculous, and just sat against the wall. It was fun. Like, every experience I had at Worlds, as I'm like taking that reflective time to sort of think about and really take in, it's really crazy how the universe just makes things come full circle, you know. Because if you told the Darian Kekai 4 years ago, when he started out making stuff on YouTube or whatever, maybe it was 3 to 4 roughly, it was like right around when COVID-19 pandemic was happening, or just starting in the States. So we So we got our tickets, got our spectator passes. Big homie was sort of gonna go back to his hotel and chill for the day. I went out and ran around with some friends, some pokey friends that I've known online for several years now, or a couple years now. And as I'm like walking out of the little place to find like my friends that I was there with, I just hear someone go, "Darian!" And I'm like, "What?" And I turn around, and it's the shop owner that I knew he was coming, but I didn't know he'd be there like at that moment in that specific time. It's the shop owner who owns the trading card post. Shout out to Tori and Janae. You guys are awesome. Also, none of this would have been possible without the help with you guys. Whether it's helping me sort of connect with the youth in the community or other communities through Pokemon, whether it's the TCG or Unite or whatever. I'm so thankful for everything that Tori, Janae, and their children have been able to give me and sort of support me through doing some sort of content creation. But yeah, we're into him, and I'm like, dude, what? I didn't know you were coming like right here, right now. You weren't gonna be here, but yeah, it was just a crazy. It's like just a crazy experience being able to be in my home state, in my homeland, on Oahu in Honolulu, Hawaii, and seeing all these places that I've been to, not been around a lot, but been to and remember, and it's all Pokefied, right? Like, it's all just insane seeing how integrated with Pokemon that Hawaii is. Because being a state that traditionally has a lot of Asian descending cultures or kin or next of kin, there's a lot of influence from those Asian specific cultures. So like a lot of people from Chinese descent, a lot of people from Japanese descent, so many people from either like the Philippines or I don't know why I said Philippines like that, Philippines, or whatever, blah 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 blah. And Hawaii, if you know history about Hawaii immigration and just basic colonization history about Hawaii, I won't go into too much detail, but knowing that kind of makes sense, right? So when Pokemon was sort of becoming a thing, some of my like earliest memories are from Pokemon. You know, whether it was my brother playing the OG Game Boy that I have. I knew it was in here. So playing the OG Game Boy. It's probably a little beat up now, but this was just sitting in my mom's garage before I went to Worlds, and I was like, oh, I need that. I need to take that with me and put this in my office somewhere. But yeah, like growing up with this franchise of Pokemon has been such a treat. Excuse me. And it's been such a joy to be able to age with Pokemon progressively as I get older. Because I'm only 27. I was born in 1996. I believe Pokemon in Japan came out like late 1996, early 1995. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, please. My timelines get a little mixed up, or like whenever Pokemon was released. But then like it quickly hit the state of Hawaii, and specifically like Honolulu, the capital of Hawaii, and you know, like all my older siblings over there on my father's side, they're playing Pokemon, they're running around with cards and blah blah blah. I'm just a baby, so I don't really know that at that point. But so like it's crazy how it all comes full circle, because now I'm able to monetize off of certain things. and sort of create content at my own pace still, but make it more, I don't want to say profitable, but like at the end of the day, I guess money makes the rules in whatever we sort of live in, whatever. But it kind of does. It kind of helps me to have that peace of mind, like, oh, I can make content the way I want, and I don't have to like abide by any special rules. Like, of course there's laws and rules about monetization and how you spend that money or blah blah blah. That's sort of like my next point, well, at the ending point of this video actually. But so like day 2, then we're all just hanging out, we're watching competitors compete, we're trying to do some side events ourselves. I really wanted to do some Unite side events, but the day that was happening, or one of the days that was happening that I had time to do it, between like running around meeting everybody, I I left my Switch at my sibling's house, so my sister's house, and I totally didn't even think about it. I like went to go sign up, and they're like, okay, so what kind of Switch do you have? Is it like an OLED? And I was like, oh no, what do you mean? I don't have it on me. And it's not that I didn't think I didn't need it. It's just the fact that like it just running around that whole weekend or week basically, because I was there from Monday to Monday, because also my family, all my siblings who are older than me live over there, and they let me stay with them. I was able to besides that, like, the whole event was awesome. I mean, that was so funny, awesome in general. If you were at Worlds and you saw me just like sitting on one of the ledges by like the palm trees or something at the convention center or whatever, and I'm just like, I just look like so dazed, like just like perplexed that I'm even here right now, existing in the same realm of like Pokemon Worlds, you would have the right idea. It was a lot, it was very overstimulating, very go the whole time I was there. I'm sure a lot of other people could probably feel that energy of like, it's Pokemon Worlds, it only happens once a year, we're gonna do it. And it's like, we get it. Yeah, I get it, but I need to sit down. I definitely like went to the quiet room. Also, shout out to Pokemon for having a quiet room at the convention center. It's like on one of the side rooms, like off to the side, where you could just go. You had to be quiet. You could be on your phone, but you had to like headphones in or just like relax. Very, very cool to have a low stimulation, quiet, safe environment for people that, like me at least, that might get easily triggered by like loud noises or just overbearing overstimulation in general. Yeah, that was cool. I thought that was a really cool, inclusive thing that they could have done. But so I like walk out of the quiet room, and throughout like several interactions, I meet like Leonhardt. He's actually the one guy that I probably ran into the most out of the whole show, because we just somehow ended up in the same place at the same time. And I met like Real Freaking Nate and Marie. They are so nice. Oh, that trio, those 3 people, they're so nice. Not saying anyone else isn't super nice in this community, but some of the top dogs also, like Danny, Super Duper Danny, or whether it's whoever else, whether you're big or small, we were all just there because it was Pokemon and because we love it. A lot of people were like, oh, you're a creator. Like, I mean, kinda. I don't really like consider myself a creator. Like, I sort of just make niche stuff that people like, and then I'll post it and get a lot of interaction. And they're like, that sounds like a creator to me. What are you, crazy? Like, what's going on? This kid's delusional. But no, regardless whether you had like one of the pink badges, I guess my regionals badge is up there too on that Lucario. But regardless whether you had like a pink badge or a blue badge or like a green badge or a red badge or whatever, however the color coding worked, it was all family. You know, it was all Poke family. And we're all there to sort of connect. At least that's why I was there. A lot of my big things for me, like especially in my regular career life, in a normal day job, a lot of it involves driving connection and building empathy and meaningful meaningful interactions with people. Because one of the reasons I have been on here for a while is because I was finishing my master's degree. I have a master's now in teaching or education, specifically secondary, and I specialize in like wellness, health, and PE. So those are like my big three. Specifically for like wellness and health, my specialties are kind of within the mental health realm. And if you've been around, whether it's on my Instagram or wherever else on my social media, I'm fairly open about my own experiences with my own mental health and my adversities, if you want to say that, or like my triumphs, even better, if you want to say that too. But as just lost my train of thought. But as I'm like sort of progressing throughout the week, I'm just getting more and more exhausted. I feel more sleep deprived. I am getting more sleep deprived at Pokémon Worlds. And nothing to say that that's anyone's fault. That's totally my fault. Because when I go, I have a really hard time to stop. Like, it's really hard for me to just cut it out. So yeah, day 3, as I'm sort of like realizing maybe it's like day 2 or day 3. Day 3 is probably the most chill day, I'll say, because I just watched like the TCG finals, got to see Lil Homie from Seattle, so I'm down in Southern Oregon, but we got to see a homie from Seattle win the juniors, or not win, but win second in the juniors. Sorry. Don't want to spread misinformation. But shout out to Tabletop Village. You guys are awesome. They're also just like a huge family up there at Tabletop Village. I love that so much because my homie Junior, or Play for Second, he's like, Darian, can you take our picture for us, like with all the crew? And I was like, yeah, totally, man, of course. And like even the owner of Tabletop, he is like, oh, dude, thank you so much, man. I'm like, yeah, I've been up to your shop several times. I don't think we've ever met, but just seeing how you're building that community up there, from littles all the way to like 40-year-olds or younger parents or middle-aged parents, it's awesome, man. Like, you're doing the thing, and it clearly is paying off, right? Maybe if it's not paying off, it's paying off, right? And that's kind of my shtick, at least in my career life, and also my content life, I guess. As I'm sitting here through a screen, I can say everything I want through the screen, and you can only believe so much, right? But it's really not about how much money I can make off of monetization, right? If that were the case, I would not be a teacher in my regular career day job, right? Because I don't make super mega loads of money as a educator, but as a content creator, I might be able to make more. Sure, whatever. But I'm at a divide right now where I can either merge the two, make them work, make them connect, or make them go their separate ways. And my mantra for teaching last year was, students don't care to know what you know until they know that you care, and that sort of really drove my connection with whether it was families or students or different people in the community, because I also like work at the local college here as a coach or volunteer work. I help out at several shops all the time with locals or TCG. I really want to get the Unite scene here kind of popping, because I've been getting I've always been into Unite, but now it's to the point where like I'm getting like a little competitive with it. But yeah, like driving that connection is what makes it worth it to me, right? I'm super stoked that I have all these different people from, I guess now all over the globe. For example, at the opening ceremony, I was able to sit with the creators and sort of hang out with them for that whole time. And I was talking to, or I sat next to a creator from Germany. And he asked me, he's like, "Oh, you do content too?" I was like, "Well, I mean, my badge doesn't really say it, but I try to do what I can within like the realm of my life." And he's like, "Content's content, man. If people like to watch it, then that's content. If you get 0 likes or like 5 likes out of 1 million that you got the day before, that's 5 homies that still care, and that's important, even if it's still 1 homie." Of course, that's all per se, because I'm not gonna impersonate a German accent or anything. I don't want to give away who it was, just for privacy reasons. But yeah, it was a crazy time at Worlds. Around day 3, during like the closing ceremony, is when we all sort of started winding down and come back to the main hall of the convention center to watch the ending ceremony. And you saw like all these people just go like into the convention center. I feel like I was already in there, but I saw like the wave of people coming, and I'm like, oh god. So I found a good spot to stand with my homies, and we just went crazy, you know. It was finally the end of like what felt like a really long weekend, or a really long 4 to 3 days. Some of us, it was a whole week, like me. but everything Pokemon had to release, or had to announce, sorry, not release, but announce, we just went wild for every single thing. And then the ending, where they announce where the next Worlds is, they like show the video that they usually do. They show like a Pikachu and some voltage energy coming out from it, spreading around this area, and people are like, "Oh, that looks like blah blah blah. That looks like blah blah blah." And then it flashes the observatory on the screen. I'm like, "It's gonna be LA." And then it flashes like an orange somewhere. I'm like, "It's gonna be Orange County." Nope, it's gonna be Anaheim. And then it flips on the screen, and it's like, Anaheim 2025. And I'm like, ah! And we're all going insane. We're like shaking each other. We're like, it's on the West Coast. And like the next one's in San Fran too. So back to back West Coast. One's even closer to where I'm located, where I live full time. But so dope. To just have that energy of everyone who's like just so dead after the weekend, just like, and then everyone's like going wild, because we're just like, at that part we're a little delulu, right? Because none of us has slept in a couple days. All of us are like running low on fuel from eating or just playing games all day. So we're all just like, yeah. And yeah, so we did that. We all hung out. I told myself I was like not gonna make it. I was gonna make it through this video without crying, but I don't know if I can keep that promise to myself. Because not only did this trip bring up a lot of happiness and a lot of connection with my past, with Pokemon, or my family, my ohana over there in Hawaii, it also brought up a lot of traumas, right? So I was born over in Honolulu, on Oahu, in Hawaii, and moved over here when I was only about 1.5, 2, like when I was a baby, right? And so having come back only twice, and here and there, maybe when I was a baby or whatever, that brought up a lot of past childhood traumas, a lot of ACEs, right? Adverse childhood experiences is what we call them in the education world. Um, but so it was like very high, low, right? The whole week, pretty much, as I'm sort of meeting people, picking people up from the airport with my rental car that I had, or whatever. Um, but it was, regardless, it was awesome. And now that I've had time to process and sort of time to heal for myself and give others themselves time to heal, I realize, like, when people say you get that Hawaiian island fever, I kind of get it now. And at least in my family, it's like you love living there, or you want to get off that rock in the middle of the ocean. And it's kind of split between my family a little bit, but not really. Most of us older folks, like uncles and aunties, we love it there. I love it there. If I could live over there and I could afford it, like, I'd do it in a heartbeat, guys. I'd do it in a heartbeat. To be over there with my my siblings on my father's side and stuff. The craziest thing that happened after Worlds. So if you've been following me on Instagram, trigger warning. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I battle with a lot of mental health. You know that I battle with a lot of my own ACEs, my own adverse childhood experiences. And you also know that I'm not afraid to share it, because I'm a firm believer in breaking the stigma that mental health has this, like, umbrella over it, right? But the craziest thing, so when I first started doing this Pokemon stuff on my socials, whether it was social media or YouTube, Instagram, whatever, my dad, my father, who is now passed away, August, I think it was like August something, mid-August is when we lost him, about 4 years ago, right about when the pandemic started for COVID-19. And I got home, and the night I got home was the night that we had lost my father. 4 years ago, right? So the night I got home from Pokémon Worlds after doing all this crazy Pokemon stuff is the night my dad had passed. It was the night my sister had called me and let me know, hey, we had to let dad go. And that still takes a lot of processing for me as a kid, you know, dealing with all that, and then now, of course, having more self-awareness and more reflecting time. But my dad always asked my siblings to show him, because he wasn't on social media himself, right? He was an older cat. My dad had always asked my siblings when I first started doing this Pokemon stuff if they could show him me doing it, like on my socials, right? It's like, oh, Kekai, can you show me that funny video of Kekai, like, opening a cool pack and going crazy? And, you know, it's crazy how everything just comes in full circle. And it's also crazy how your body just remembers that trauma, right? So at that time, when I'm home and I'm sort of winding down, getting ready for bed, I just start like hyperventilating. I start like going like all sorts of whack, all sorts of dysregulated. I like couldn't breathe. My vision gets like closed in. So I just come into my office and I'm just weeping, right? And I'm like, why is this happening? Like, what is going on? By that time, I didn't realize that was the night that we had lost my father. And as we are, as I'm sort of just trying to re-regulate myself in the middle of the night, I realize, I'm like, oh my god, like, this was the night that my father had passed away. And it's really weird that it all sort of happened. And then Worlds, 4 years later, that it all kind of like went boom, 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 Worlds, and then boom, 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 here you are, and you're here again, and boom, you realize. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, how could I mentally forget that when my body and like my brain is just so tacked onto that trauma and so clinging on to those adverse experiences. So as I am sort of just bawling my eyes out, hypervent, blah 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 blah, and I realize that, oh, this is the fourth or fifth year anniversary of my father passing, and that's hard. That's hard for anyone, even if you're not close with your parents, like, or your birth givers. That's what I sort of like to call parents sometimes. It's tough. You know, even if I wasn't close with them, it's still tough. But I'm trying now to sort of take that trauma and all those ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and I'm trying to reform them into something beautiful for this Pokemon community that has sort of raised me since a very young age. One of my side personal projects that I like to do. So I have like all these stickers, and if you see yourself anywhere on here, just go ahead and comment and tell me like which one is it. I know which one it is. I can tell you like where all of these are from whether it's different people or stuff. But I wasn't able to get a Worlds ukulele, so I figured like, hey, I'll just deck out my own ukulele. And then I even put one on the back. It says, I love you. So Mochi, that's my dog's name. But yeah, it's so awesome being able to take it's a beautiful thing that we're able to take our traumas and reprocess them into something beautiful. Because if you've been following me for a while, last year around this time is when I started my own LLC. That really didn't turn into anything. It's not a big deal that it didn't, but I still like own the rights to it and everything. So underneath it, I have decided to create found a nonprofit organization. It's called Pokémon. So like Pocky, like the Japanese little chocolate breadsticks. And then it's called Pokémon Creatively Knitted Collective Foundation. So my goal for that, because as a still figuring out legality stuff, I don't really know how it works, but I don't want to profit off of that at all. And like legally, I don't think I can the way I set it up. But my goal is not to give back to myself, who's been raised by this community of Pokemon people. My goal is to give back to the community, right? And that might be just who I am as a person, because I chose to be an educator and I chose to do coaching and stuff. Like, I've always loved helping others, and that's why I did my first series on here, the Poke Friends series, which we're gonna bring back. I'm planning on bringing it back, but with a twist, and with a lot more people now, because now that a lot more people sort of know who I am. So yeah, very excited for the things that are happening in my life right now. And if I'm like here for a while, and then I'm off for a while, or I'm here really quickly and then I'm off for a while, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Don't be alarmed. It's definitely like that's kind of my style, which isn't really coherent to being a digital creator or a content creator. But I'm very committed to this. I'm very excited to sort of roll out different plans that I've been planning with different people, as far as like connecting communities together to form one strong community based around our connection through Pokemon. And that's sort of, I guess that's sort of like my mantra this year, as school is just starting and whatnot, is to bridge gaps, right? And through that, I think anything can really happen. But yeah, like bridging gaps, and of course it's gonna be water or Hawaiian themed. If you don't know, like Hawaiian culture, we have like we have our Hawaiian names, right? I have like my two English names, and then in the middle there's my Hawaiian names. So my full name is Darian Kekai Malama Murphy. So the first part means like the fishermen, or the fisher people, or the sea people who take care of the ocean. So Kekai means the ocean, or the sea, or the waters. And then Malama means to take care of. That is like my greatest blessing and curse in one, because me being an empath and a big extrovert, I want to help people. That's like in my nature to do so, right? I recharge off of being around people. So that's kind of the driving force for my nonprofit that I'm trying to kickstart. I'm very excited for all of this to sort of fall into place, because I think, if more than anything, the communities that have sort of latched onto Pokemon for comfort or safety, I think they deserve it more than anything. So I guess I've just been yapping for so long, I didn't even realize this was like almost 40 minutes. But I'm very thankful that I'm here. I'm very thankful to be able to work with different brands and different people in the capacity of what I want to do. I'm very thankful for y'all. I'm very thankful for this Poke Friends community that we sort of built, even if it's only like 350 subscribers or whatever. That says something. That one guy who at one point was just in his rinky-dink office in his little apartment, but is now in his house with all these posters on the wall and everything hanging from the ceiling. It says a lot that you guys would be sticking around for this long, as long as you have, actually. So I'm gonna get off here before I start bawling my eyes out, but nonprofit, it's happening. It's called Pokémon Creatively Knitted Collective Foundation. I plan on making it a 501c3, but as things happen, they will happen, and things will blow up in my face. Things will fall right into place, right? So let me tell you like what Pokemon sort of stands for first. So P in Pocky stands for Pokemon, of course. Duh. O stands for Ohana, or family. A very wild six-armed abomination, codenamed 626 Experiment, or codenamed Experiment 626 once said, Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind. Or forgotten. So, that is also a big driving force for me too. C sort of stands for community or collective. K stands for knitted or woven together. Because as a rope, we can be a pretty strong individual as a rope, right? But if we keep going under stress, we start tensing too much, we'll snap. But if we're together as a rope, and it's all sort of interlocked and interwoven and knitted together, we can do a lot more and be a lot more stronger. And then Y stands for Yao, which, someone please correct me if I'm wrong, this is all just going off of Google Translate, which is kind of an interchangeable word between Chinese and Japanese. In Chinese, I believe it stands for like shining brightly, and then Japanese, it stands for people or person. So that's kind of like my why into creating content now. It's not to get all the views. Well, that'd be nice. It's not to get all the views. It's not to monetize personally or be profitable off of any of this personally. It's to build up donation funds for whether it's local communities, local TCG shops, local game shops, local video game shops, and create a more welcoming space that people can sort of just come to when they need to, or make it their home, right? Because look at the wall behind me. It's clearly my home. But I'm very, very excited that I'm able to sort of do all this, and that things are sort of falling into place. It'll be a while to get things going, of course, but as we're going, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a cool thing along the way. Ripple by ripple builds waves, right? And as waves sort of rumble and tumble and get bigger, they will eventually cause a tsunami. But after that tsunami, what do? You rebuild, you reconnect, you reach out to resources, you reach out to homies, you reach out to your friends, and you check on them, you tell them you love them, tell them you care about them, tell them you're here for them, tell them you're there to support them, which is how I've felt throughout my duration of being part of this Pokemon community as an adult. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Love y'all. Much love. I don't know, how do they do oops, oh no, yeah, like that. Very demure, very mindful, very, very cutesy. Love you guys. Super excited to have the things happening that are happening. And I'll be in touch soon, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, y'all, much love. Stay awesome, stay positive, stay kind. And it's all aloha, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thanks.